Welcome to Rugby AM here on Free Sports. Another fantastic show lined up for you tonight. And it's welcome to the Griffins, not one, two, but three Griffin brothers in the studio, alongside myself, Alex Simmons, and the main man, JJB Jonesy. Start with you, mate. Big week at Leeds. Your best mate, Sir Kev, back at the club. Return of the King, and Jimmy Lowe's in as number one head coach. Are you happy? Are you a bit sad to see Bry go? But a new era starting at Leeds.
As I said last week, I wasn't happy about the whole in the first place, but just really quickly to put it into context, I got asked by a load of community coaches last week who come over from Belgium and France and all over Europe, a Q&A. I did the Q&A, and they asked me, how's the team dealt in the past with a transition or a changing coach? And it was a great question, and I'd never really thought about it before. But I says to them, and my answer was that we never really saw it as a challenge or a transition, because it always revolved around Kev Sinfield anyway. He always kept the culture in order. So to put him back in at a time when we've got a new group of young people coming through, to have Kev to install what they need into them at this moment is absolutely fantastic.
Griff, we'll start with yourself as well. You've played at Leeds with Jonesy. You know Kev really well. Do you see it as a masterstroke by Gary Everton? Because he's brought him back and he's also relinquished some of his duties. So Kev's going to be looking after player retention, player recruitment. Is this a masterstroke by the Leeds club?
Yeah, it's brilliant. You know, he's through and through Leeds, Kev. You know, he's a legend of the club. It's win-win for the club. You know, he's going to motivate the players there. He's played with a lot of them. You know, I think Gary's done a great deal there. And
you must be happy to that, because after the result this week, and we won't talk about it too much, but Kev said straight away changes need to be made, so you're expecting some swift changes, maybe some new personnel coming in for maybe these eights, because it's not looking good.
I think the changes probably need to be more long-term, a long-term vision, and you've got to be careful not to damage the short-term vision. That change could well be me, Similar, that might be me at the end of the year. And the problem
goes into Kev's office.
The beautiful thing about Kev is that you'll know, Griff, he's got great friends and he's a really honest, genuine guy, but he's ruthless at work, which is what you need from a great leader. And you know, it might come that he says, Jonesy, we need some younger, fresh legs out there, and that might come about. But
you said, well, look at my game scores, Kev.
Well, that might go out window too now as well. Yeah. So you never know. It's a bit of a turmoily type of situation, but we'll get there. We always come out. I saw a great quote this week from Carl Jung. I was reading a book, and the quote is, "For a tree to reach into heaven, its roots must first reach into hell." So it's this idea that...
That's deep.
And you guys will know it, the rugby league, a gladiatorial sport, it's full of pain, adversity, pressure from fans, wins, losses. And to get to those high points, I think you've got to go through a bit of a negative process, and we're just in that cycle again.
Josh, you've got a great leader at work in Lee Radford. He's also an angry man, as we saw last week. But you've got a brace on your knee at the moment. Give us an injury update. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I'm ahead of schedule, so that's a positive. Looking back to get back for the start of the eights, possibly whole KR. Last round of the game, last game of the rounds. Last game of the rounds. But yeah, all good going forward.
And yourself as well, Georgie, you're injured at the moment. Life at Salford must be tough, challenging.
It is, mate. You know, it's a bit of a roller coaster at times at Salford, but unfortunately, I've had some experience now in where we are and sort of know how to deal with it. So, you know, we're only looking forward at the moment. We're sort of focusing on ourselves and what we can do to change the outcome of how we're going to be next year.
Josh, I wanted to ask you, mate, you've been outstanding this year. Really jumped up, and we were talking at Butlins, weren't we, Griff, about his performances. And I was pushing you for England in that mid-season international over in Denver as well. What's been the key for you in your upsurge in performance, getting to that sort of level?
Just consistency. You know, I've had a bit of a difficult year with my first year at Hull. I struggled to settle in. But no, I've just found a level that I was happy at playing at. I stopped nagging about playing a certain position. I just got on with it. So I've played left wing, right wing, back row. And I've just literally got on with it. And to be fair, Rad has given me a bit of freedom. Just said, look, get the carries up and go from there. He said we played well off the back. You know, when you're on, you go forward. And that was basically it, really. I just took a bit more responsibility.
It would have been a really special day for you as a family today. Your dad had been 61. I saw a post this morning on Instagram, and we thought we'd do a little tribute to him. And if you've got a few words, because he was your biggest supporter, wasn't he?
My old man, you know, you couldn't actually ever find him at one of our rugby games because he's always wander off and leave the family, and honestly, he'd go by himself and talk to randomers, and he'd always let them know that he's got kids playing or whatever. He's probably more of a hassle to anyone else than he was a supporter. But yeah, he used to love us playing, you know, win, lose or draw. He was always there, and you know, I've copped some big hammerings in rugby league in my time, and he always used to say, you know, 10 more minutes and you'd have had him. So, you know, regardless if we won or lost, you know, he was always there to put a smile back on your face after the game.
It was brilliant to have, because he was your biggest critic as well. And you know, I've had some poor performances over the year, like George said, you know, teams, but he'd always give you an honest opinion of your own game. You know, we were lucky enough to play one game together that he saw. It was a pre-season friendly, and you know, he was the most emotional man in the stadium. He had to go off and have a cry by himself. And unfortunately, he didn't get to see us play in Super League together. That happened, you know, the week after, and it didn't turn out quite right. I think I got sent off and Josh got seen, but then George got put on report. You know, the week we lost him, we decided to play that game together, and so it didn't go to plan. But you know, he was an immensely proud man and really proud of all of us. And you know, and it was the rugby league did some special things on that day. You know, we played Widnes up at the Magic Weekend, and you know they did a minute silence for us, and you know they put a nice picture of him up on the big screen and that. So you know, special from the RFL and rugby league in general that to do that.
Mate, we've got a few little games to play, just a bit of fun, and you've got to decide between yourself and tell us a few who was the best. We did it with the Burgess boys, and they were brutally honest. So I'm going to throw a question at you, and you've got to come back with a kind of a joint answer. Who is the best looking Griffin?
Focus the camera on all three of us and judge yourself.
Let's have a look. Georgie, so you're going best looking. We've got a photo from the youth to prove that.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's a little bit bigger.
Oh no!
Simo size.
Which one is it? Is it that black and white picture? I've still got yellow teeth.
That's the one.
Oh, buzzing. Brilliant.
Standing. You've grown into your looks, I think it's fair to say.
Thanks, mate.
He is literally the ugly duckling.
Who's the best in the kitchen? Who's the best chef between you all?
Oh, you.
Yeah, I'm best cook.
Yeah, I'm not great at
What's your
that.
dish of choice? What's your signature?
Not really in the kitchen, but I love barbecuing. Can barbecue anything, you know, this time of year. Don't like gas barbecues; they ruin the taste of everything. Some traditional barbecue.
Weber.
Yeah, anything like that. Any traditional barbecue, I'm pretty good.
Just really quick, you've been out on, you're a bit of an expedition guy. I'm a big VW van man, and you've just built your own in two years. And what is it, a T1, T2, is it?
It's a T25. Yeah, the original. It's 1988. It's taken me 2 years to do it. It was almost like the lads have had, you know, all three of us and my sister have all had different tributes to my dad. Josh had some tattoos, George had a full leg piece, you know, all things that my dad enjoyed and whatnot. But the T25 was something he really wanted to do when he, you know, a few years back. You know, we'll all use it. I would get my mum out in it. It was something they wanted to do. I've picked the same colour he wanted. All the interior's pretty much what he said he'd have had done. And she's got his name on the, you know, it was a nickname my mum always had for him. It was Bud. So that's on the registration for him. And, you know, he always used to come out with this saying, love you, bless you, miss you, which is always something, you know, when we put something to my dad, you know, birthdays or anniversaries, things like that, that's our saying to our dad, and that'll go across the back. So it's just something that will stay within the family. No one really knows the meaning of it, apart from us. Well, maybe now, but
Everyone does.
Everyone does now. So if they see a blue T25 with love you, bless you, miss you on the back, you know it's us.
Who's the best dressed?
I'm definitely taking that one.
You're sat there in your shorts and a
I've
scruffy
got to put
t-shirt.
me on my phone. Hey, you look like you're like a geography teacher. I'm definitely taking best dressed.
Who's the mummy's boy out of the Griffins?
I know that one. Yeah. I lived at home the longest, and obviously my dad worked away, so I was a bit of a mummy's boy. Yeah, I didn't need to leave because it was just me and my mum at home. So, and then she always comes to me first.
And when he did leave home, he brought his washing home and got his meals. So he did leave home, but he still came to his washing.
First moved out, I used to go, because I used to obviously playing rugby, finished early, and I was living with some friends. So they used to get home at 5, 6 o'clock at night, but I'd been at my mum's for dinner, I had my kit washed, and then just basically I was just sleeping there. I didn't last very long either. I was like, no, I'm going home.
Right, absolutely outstanding hearing who the best Griffin is. Right now, let's go over and see a little legend, Paul Heighton, as he picks his hard as nails. Check this out.
My name's Paul Heighton, I'm the Salford Red Devils team and welfare manager, ex-Halifax, Salford, Oldham and a quick brief spell at Featherstone. My top 5 toughest opponents, I think I put number 5, I would probably say Paul Sculthorpe. He was just a fierce competitor and such an athlete as well, and just you knew every game he went into, it was 100%. I've never really got into a tussle with, not as a pro. We got in a few scrapes when we was amateurs. Referee threatened us. First one to throw, first punch. He's off. He was playing for Mayfield at the time, and he'd left Waterhead to go to Mayfield. I think he was pot hunting. He'd gone to the team that won the league that year. But yeah, we always used to have a crack about that. Number 4, I'd probably say Jamie Peacock. The guy, again, very much in the same mould as Scully, just an ultimate competitor. But the guy was just so raw-boned. He was just so unassuming. The way he carried the ball, he was all elbows and knees, and he was one of them type of players that when he took it in, you're thinking, you're not going to pull out, you're going 100%, but this is going to work. You know what I mean? And the guy never took a backward step, and I think that was quite evident. When he played for Great Britain and he knocked 10 bells out of Mason. Number 3, I'm probably going to say Moz. Again, very much just an animal of a bloke. The way he carried the ball, he just seemed to have no respect for his body, and he certainly didn't have any respect for yours when he was running into you. And again, that big padded arm and all elbows, and when those knees got coming up, you knew you was in for it, and you could tell there was nothing behind them eyes. There was just he just had nothing but disrespect for you as a player at the time when he was carrying that ball in. He just wanted to hurt you, and I think that's an admirable thing. If you play with any sort of respect, you're going to get hurt, and he certainly didn't play soft. He's a legend of our sport, isn't he, on both sides of the world, and he's richly deserved as well. The guy's done everything, and has been the ultimate pro. 2, I'm going over the other side of the world now. Someone like Shane Webke. The guy was just a wrecking ball. He was for such a big man as well. He was such a fit fella, and he was one of them, a bit like Moz, where as he took the ball in, he just eyeballed you, and it was a case of, I'm going to run over you, do your best. He turned you into a speed bump half of the time. You didn't stop him, you just slowed him down. Or maybe that was just me and my crap tackling technique. And number 1, I'd probably say Gordon Tallis. The guy was just a brute. He was a beast. He was an athlete. He embodied everything that was your ultimate forward. I think his own teammates were feared of him as well at times, and this guy came with a reputation, and when you played against him, you understood why he had that reputation. He was into everything. He was he was bagging you while you was playing. He was smashing you. I played in the semi-final of the World Cup for Wales against him, and he broke my jaw that game. I've actually got a picture on Twitter where he's raised the elbow. He's caught me in the jaw, and I got an hairline fracture of the jaw halfway through the game, and I think that was just his welcome and his calling card. So not only did he injure me, he stood up to his reputation as well.
Some great players there playing up against Paul Iton. You've got a Frenchman at the moment at Hull who we came across in Catalan. Absolute legend of a bloke off the field, Hakan Miloudi. And Radha's had a few choice words about him last week. But how is he as a bloke? How's he settling in at Hull? He's definitely a character.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. He's mad. It's when he first turned up, Radha's didn't know how to deal with him, to be fair. But he lives on his own. He's a young kid, so you can imagine what he gets up to. But he still carries on like he does. When he plays the French card, so when Radha's tells him off, I don't understand. I think one of the sessions he got given off. We got told to go home from training, and he actually went home to France, and we didn't see him till Monday. And Radha's just shakes his head at him, and
that is first class.
Oh, he's brilliant.
That is taking things so literally. What did Radha say next day when he didn't come in?
Where is he? And then no one could get in touch with him. He come in back on Monday, but he's the only one who can get away with it because he just plays an understand card, and that's it.
Absolutely outstanding. Got to say a bit of an apology on my part, anyway, to Connor Robinson, because last week we put a video on of him playing in a game against Griff, And yeah, I got a bit of flack. And to be honest, if he failed an head test, my apologies, Connor. Very sorry if obviously been knocked out. And yeah, I'm sorry about that, Griff. Obviously, you've got another opinion, and that's your opinion.
I'm not sorry, should have got up.
We'll leave it there. But you have been involved, obviously. You're at Keighley at the moment. You had a bit of a traumatic time at Fev.
Yep.
Is that all dealt with now? It's all done, is it?
Yeah, we won the initial case, and then they appealed that, and then they lost that again. So now we're just waiting for the settlement to go through. We had sort of no communication from Fev in that sort of week and a half, 2 week window. Yeah. So now it goes back to the RFL again, and they decide from there. So just on the settlement.
Because it blew up on social media when it all happened, and you put a few things out as well.
Yeah.
And it was. It's a bit of a sad end to a good career there, because you played some great rugby.
Yeah, I had a brilliant time. I'd really had a good time. You know,
great
we come off a tough time at the back end of Salford. We just lost, you know, our father at that time, and quite easily, you know, could have finished there and then. Yeah. Rugby league, you know, concerns then with my brothers, my mum, my sister. Yeah. You know, rugby league was the furthest thing from my mind at that point, and got a phone call. Went out on a motorbike trip out to France just to get away, and got a phone call from John Sharp saying, "Look, there's this for you." So, and I'd worked with John before, so I jumped at the chance. Really got my release from Salford, and had a really good 2 years. I played all but 2 games, and we'd had 2 successful years. You know, made the top 4 twice, and you know, I think it was up until the quarterfinals again in the Challenge Cup. You know, we lost to Leeds at Headingley, and you know, we'd had a really good time there. And it, you know, strangely, they got rid of John Sharp back end of the year, and I've been speaking with Sharpie throughout the year, because it was going to be my last year, and he was talking to me about, you know, carrying on, and with my wife and that, we've made the decision to go again, and then we sorted out right at the back end just after John Duffy come in, but there was quite a large drop in salary for the last year, which we couldn't sort of fathom why. So we set up the option to play a bit of rugby in the off season, and then it was literally just before my new contract started, I got a phone call to say I'd been suspended, and so I was like, on what grounds? Like, they said, oh, you've breached your new contract, but it hadn't come into effect from the 1st. And anyway, you know, we'd had all these text messages and evidence of, you know, there'd been discussions and permission, and asking how I'd gone before the game, asking how I'd gone after the game, and while I was away on holiday, I got a message from the general manager there to say that I've been sacked for gross misconduct. So that obviously put a bit of a damper on. We were away for Christmas at the time, so it put a bit of a damper on the holiday at Christmas at the time, because it was like you had to come back and sort of face the music. But we fought the case. You know, I didn't want to go. It wasn't, you know, I was quite happy, like I say, to finish the year. But you know, we move on. Things happen for a reason, and I'm happy now, and I'm at Keighley, and you know, the news is there that, you know, we're almost out of trouble. That's almost settled there, because they've had some financial difficulties the last couple of weeks, but you know, that's almost done, and I enjoy it. There's some great young lads there, and I'm just happy to keep playing. You know, you're a long time retired. My body's not too bad in terms of injuries and things like that, so might go again next year. Yeah, we'll see. It's good to see you back on the field and happy and smiling. Now taking you into the break, it's time to go over to the Castleford Tigers to catch up with Nathan Massey, Jai Hitchcox and John Snow himself, Alex Foster, as they give us Castleford teammates. We'll see you back here on Free Sports for more Rugby in part 2. Keep it locked.
Jai, the postman, Hitchcox, because I always deliver the goods.
Alex Foster, back row, Samurai.
John Snow, Nathan Massey, prop, loose, standoff, wing, centre, fullback. No, I don't really have any names. Massey.
Right here, the chameleon, because I adapt to any situation.
It's got to be you, without a shadow of a doubt, easily.
Yeah, probably Choxy, I'd say. Choxy.
There you go. Oh, Gadwin Springer, if we're talking about best in budgie smugglers.
Yeah, he's got to be Gadwin. Although Gailey does love a budgie smuggler, doesn't he? He does love one.
Macca fancies himself. We've got a fair few players as well. And you seem to be a budgie smuggler dealer.
I smuggle the budgies in. And yeah. Oh, that's Gadwin as well. Yeah, the young fellas don't get to eat because Gads has just filled his plate, no portion control whatsoever.
Oggy. Oggie's, when you got your food, Oggie, if Oggie ain't got his, he sits and watches you like a dog. He's shocking.
Andy Lynch, who's still a part of the club, so he's still the tightest man alive. Thanks, Lynchy. Moths flew out of his wallet last time he tried to buy a beer. Just
Well, easily Joe Wardle. He could moan about anything, that lad.
Yeah, he does.
He could. I think
He's meant to be actually about being tight as well. He come back from Australia because he said it was too expensive for him, even though he was probably on
big bucks.
Big bucks, it was still too expensive.
He just bought a house. Isn't he a cash buyer?
Oh yeah, there's a good story about that house actually.
Oh, go on then, tell it.
All right, so Mike McMeekin's been looking for a new house, and he's found this house, put an offer in on it, purchased it, and then I come in the physio room the other day, and Joe come in. Joe laid down on bed and said, "Oh, Mass, yeah, I've been to look at that house at Jasmine Gardens. It's proper nice. Kitchen's mega on it." So I says, "Oh yeah, Mikey's actually he's had an offer accepted on it, but Mikey was still in process of selling his house." And then sort of last week before the team run against Wigan, we were just sat about, and Joe says, "Oh Mikey, I've got a confession to make. Yeah, it's me who's bought that house because someone had come in and estate agents had rang and said to Mike McMeekin that a cash buyer had come in and purchased this house, so they've had to let it go." Joe tried saying, "Oh, my missus, she put a bid on it at night. I didn't know about it, and they've accepted it." And yeah, so.
I wish my missus was putting bids on houses at night time. Oh, the Ginger Warrior.
Who's a closet ginger?
Oggie. Oggie's. I was like, he's a closet everything.
Oh, Jon Snow.
Yeah. He's a Mexican Jon Snow.
There's no wrong with him this week. He's not injured. He's just got this week off. He's been filming for new Game of Thrones, and yeah, Fozzie. That's why he's all trimmed up. Benny Roberts, not even late. He just don't turn up. Benny Roberts usually makes like arrange stuff to do stuff with the boys. Or we'll go for a coffee or whatever. You say, "Yeah, Benny, I'll meet you at this time." You get there. "Oh, Benny, where are you?" "Oh, no, sorry, G. I've had to missing kids. I've got to do something with them." So Benny Roberts is not even late. He just doesn't turn up.
What about Webber when he were late for training because he were stuck in toilet? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. We jammed Webber in the toilet one time, so he couldn't get out, and we were wondering where he was, and he was just stuck in the bogs. But oh well. Oh, Webbo. Oh my, so far under. Mikey, Webbo. Sticks, well, Greg Minikin. Oh mate, it's absolutely disgraceful.
Joxy.
Oh no, I'm not.
Oh, I'm not.
I bank my own checks.
I reckon Mike McMeekin, when he gets a bit wound up, he thinks he's tough. He gets very angry, big Russian.
Yeah, big rush.
Yeah, he thinks he's tough though.
Yeah,
he thinks. Yeah. I heard a story about him in a pre-season friendly against Featherstone, was it?
Oh, yeah.
He just got banged apparently. Apparently he got full laid out, nose were broken and everything. I'm sure. Did you play that?
Mate, I don't throw my teammates under the bus. Mate, Jesse
meets someone. Jesse can meet someone for the first time. Don't even know him. Next minute he'll be like, "Oh, if you need something, my mate will sort you out." And you don't even know him. He just reckons because he's said hi to him once.
Yeah. He walks around with a boombox. Honestly, he walks around with a boombox to like Harry's Burgers and Shakes and just thinks he's like the Messiah, the chosen one. It's absolutely disgusting.
He's got his own haircut at Castleford at number 20. Yeah, number 19. Is it?
What kid would walk into a barber and ask for a Jesse San Lefeo haircut? That's beyond me.
Grinder, Oggie.
Oggie's on Grinder. And Jesus, he can swipe. Oggie will be the first to let you know that a lead singer of some band that no one knows just followed him on Twitter. Gadwin is the longest man in the shower by a mile, by about 8 inches.